Good day, grade 8, and welcome to our week 5 of our module based instruction. We are still in a series of lessons on modals, and this week will be the last week of the said series. So I hope you are holding your modules with you already. I expect that the module you're holding is still module 3 because like I said, we are going to discuss the last part or the lesson 3 of that module, which will talk about the use of modal adverbs. I hope you're ready, so let's start. During the last 2 weeks, we discussed the first two lessons on modals. We already talked about modal verbs, and last week we talked about modal nouns. So let's review some important concepts about modal nouns before we move forward to studying modal adverbs. Okay, so kindly answer the following questions. Number one, what are modal nouns? All right, so if you recall, I told you last time that modal nouns are nouns that show modality. Modality means the quality or state of something other than being a simple fact. Review question number 2. Can you name some examples of modal nouns? Okay, so we gave several examples of modal nouns last time, but for the sake of review, we had given the following: possibility, obligation, necessity, ability, permission, request, promise, chance, requirement, responsibility, and capacity. As I've already said, our focus for this week will be on modal adverbs. Kindly take note of the following lesson objectives. 1. Identify modal adverbs. And second, construct sentences using modal adverbs. Alright, so you already know the drill. Please pause this video first and please answer on your notebook what's in on page 20. After you answer, you can get back to this video and we can start with our lesson proper. For you to be given certain ideas about modal adverbs, please study and answer mentally first what's new on page 21. The examples there will, like I said, give you enough ideas about modal adverbs that might help you with our discussion later. Of course, by now, I expect that you have already finished answering your written activity and that you have studied what's new and gathered certain ideas about modal adverbs. Now we will proceed to our discussion proper. First up, let's try to define what modal adverbs are. So lantawa palihog maayo ang definition, and while we are in the process of understanding modal adverbs, please compare modal adverbs to our previous lessons nga modal verbs kag modal nouns kung ano ila kinalain. Okay? So what are modal adverbs? Of course, they are adverbs that express modality. So please take note that we have highlighted that modal adverbs based on its name are really adverbs. And they express also modality, parehos ang ginaobra sang modal nouns kag modal verbs. So second bullet, as adverbs, they describe or give more information to verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. Okay? So kay modal adverbs sila, technically ang function nila sa sentence is adverbs definitely. So ang functions ng adverbs, may ginamodify sila nga words, and what are these words? These words are the verbs, the adjectives, and other adverbs in the sentence. So you will see later what I mean because we will be giving certain examples. And the third bullet is most of the modal adverbs that we have, they all end in ly. So probably, this is one of the most obvious, ang pinakaklaro nga difference ang modal adverbs sa modal nouns kag modal verbs because most of them end in ly. Okay, so ang sentences nga ipakita ko diri, of course, contain modal adverbs. So balik kita sa second bullet kagina because that was an important note about modal adverbs. Ano to gani liwat? Modal adverbs give information or describe verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs in the sentence. So let's try to compare the following sentences para makita nyo kung ano ang akong ginamin. Okay? So first sentence, let's read. If Carl campaigns hard, he shall surely win. Okay? Second sentence. Carl's friends are willingly happy to help him in his campaign. Third sentence, the students will likely vote for Carl. Sige, I will ask an obvious question. What are the modal verbs in the sentences? Of course, the modal verbs are those which I have already underlined. So, ang modal verbs sa aton sentence number 1 is surely. Sa sentence number 2, willingly. Sa sentence number 3, likely. So, pwede na to naton i-check ang third bullet kagina nga ginhambal ko. Most modal adverbs end in the suffix ly. So, you have surely, willingly, and likely. Okay? So, I will highlight again bullet number 2. Kung lang tawon ta ang surely sa first nga sentence, may ginatudlo siya. Okay? If Carl campaigns hard, he shall surely win. What do you think does the word surely modify in the first sentence? Ano ang iya gina-describe o kung ano ang iya ginatudlo? Ano ang surely nga ginamin sa first sentence? So, sa first sentence, ang surely is trying to describe or give information to the word win, which in this case is what? An action verb, which is a verb. O, an action word, which is a verb. So, ang surely naton ends in ly. Ikaduha, it points to a verb or it gives information to a verb. And lastly, surely shows modality. That's why surely is an example of a modal adverb. Okay? Oh, I hope that's clear. Oh, let's go to sentence number 2. Ang word na willingly again, we have already checked the bullet. It ends in ly. So more likely, we are already given an idea that willingly is indeed a modal adverb. But the question is, what word does the word willingly describe or give information to? Okay. So, ang willingly naman dire, nagatudlo sa word nga happy. Right? Okay. So, ang happy, balik sa aton natunan sa basic English, happy describes Carl's friends. Diba? Nag-describe sa sang noun. Therefore, ang happy is adjective. Kay describing word sa noun. So, ang word nga willingly nagtudlo sa adjective. Therefore, it is an adverb. And of course, ang pinakalas nga bullet, willingly shows modality. Okay? So, ang word nga willingly, again, is an example of a modal adverb. Okay? Sige. Let's go to the last sentence. Sige. Ang likely naman, the same. It ends in ly. So, balik ta sa question ta kagina. Ano naman this time nga word ang ginatudlo or ginadescribe sang word nga likely? Likely what? Likely vote. Alright? So, pareho sa sentence number 1, ang likely nga word nato nagtudlo sa action word, which in this case is a verb. Therefore, Again, likely is an example of a modal adverb. Kung na-notice nyo, ang word nga ginatudlo sang aton nga modal adverb, laban-laban, ara lang na sa iya tupad. Kung hindi sa iya tupad, ara sa iya una. Okay? So again, do not forget bullet number 2, because modal adverbs are adverbs, they tend to describe or give information to verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. And bullet number 3, most of them end in ly. Alright, so here is a list of some examples of our modal adverbs. Let's try to read them all together in 3, 2, 1. Possibly, certainly, obligately, necessarily, ably, requisitely, promisingly, decidedly, responsibly, permissively. O sige. So you can try practice reading them on your own later, but here's an important point. Kung i-compare naton ang list sa aton modal adverbs sa modal nouns, may mga na-notice kamo ba lang similarities or differences? Okay? Para ma-compare nyo, kindly look at your module that is on page 14. Kay dira naton makita ang examples ng modal nouns. So may mga ara sila almost similarity. May mga ara sila similarities almost. Okay? Medyo lain lang ang structure. For example, sa aton list of modal noun dira, ang first nga example is possibility. 'Di ba? Ang word nga possible, gindugangan lang ty because ang ginistoryahan ta during that time is modal noun. 'Di ba? But this time, ginislan ta lang ang suffix ly because we are already talking about modal adverbs. So ang possibility nga modal noun nahimo possibly nga modal adverb. Syempre lain ang itsura kay lain ang usarman sa sentence sang noun kag sang adverb. Okay? So kabalo na kamo sang usar sang adverb kay gin-explain ko na ang usar sang adverbs sa previous nga slide. Okay? O another example, may ara man kita dira obligation sa modal noun. Pag abot sa modal adverb, nag-change sa, it became obligately. O, diba? So, may ara sila similarities. May ara man kita dira necessity. Sa modal adverb, it became necessarily. Okay? O may ara man kita dira requirement. Sa modal adverb, nahimo sa requisitely. That's why, series of lessons ni sa kay may ara sila connection nga tatlo sang modal verbs, modal nouns kag modal adverbs. Lain-lain lang ila usar sa sentence but the three of them actually show modality. So may ara pa kita dira iban nga examples nga nahatag nga may anggid or may similarity sa modal noun. So you can try to spot them and compare if you may. Like our modal nouns, ang aton modal adverbs also have their own meanings, and that is what we are going to try to find out. Okay? So in this slide and in the next slide, we will try to look at the meaning of the different modal adverbs and read their sample sentences. Okay? So first modal adverb we have possibly, meaning used to state that something is possible to happen. Okay? May tsansa nga matabo. For example, my mother is possibly coming home today. So kung makita nyo da sa sample sentence, ang pula nga na-underlinean, those are our modal adverbs. The blue one, ang mga tupad nila nga ara sa una o kung ara sa tupad sang na-underlinean nga pula, nga naka-blue, they are the words nga ginatudlo or ginadescribe sang aton nga modal adverbs. So they could be a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. Okay, let's go to the second one. Certainly, meaning in a manner that is sure or without a doubt. Okay, sigurado. sa sigurado nga paagi. For example, I am certainly joyful that my family is always with me. So we have the modal adverb certainly pointing to the adjective joyful. Third, obligately, meaning in an obligate or necessary manner. Obligado. Sample sentence, my father is obligately proud to work hard for our family. What word does obligately point to? Of course, we have the adjective proud. Okay, fourth modal adverb, necessarily, meaning used to state that something is necessary or needed. Sample sentence, Lolo said that a person's success does not necessarily reflect one's personality towards other people. Okay, o ano naman ang ginatudlo sang modal adverb nga necessarily? Yes, you have there the verb reflect. Okay, our last example for this slide, ably, meaning in a skillful or competent manner. Sagad, kung sa aton pa, sagad or bansay. Example, Tonton dances ably during the party. Okay, if you look at the sentence, in this case, ang word nga gina-describe sang aton modal adverb ara sa una. 'Di ba? So we have the word dances, which is a verb on its own. All right? Let's continue. Sixth modal adverb, we have requisitely, meaning used to state something that is essential or important for a particular purpose. Okay. O requirement ang iyang modal noun. Sample sentence, I have to requisitely answer my homework. Okay. So this time, ang aton word nga requisitely, modal adverb gali nga requisitely, points to answer, which is a verb. 7. Promisingly, meaning in a promising manner. Ang noun, ano ganing modal nouns ang promisingly? Of course, we have the modal noun promise. Sample sentence, the concert started promisingly, but it did not maintain the interest of its audience. So promisingly, the modal adverb promisingly points or gives information to the verb started in this sentence. Number 8, decidedly, meaning in a manner that is free from doubt. Sample sentence, my sister is decidedly supportive of my hobby. So ang decidedly nga modal adverb this time points to the adjective supportive. Okay, number 9, responsibly, meaning in a responsible manner. Example, the police responsibly helped the old man cross the road. So we have the modal adverb responsibly pointing this time to a verb, helped in the sentence. Last, we have permissively, meaning used to state something that is granted or given permission. Example, I played permissively with my friends. So ang permissively dira again points to our verb played nga ara sa iya nga una. Okay? So please do take note of the examples given for modal adverbs because you will use them later in your activities. So before you proceed to your activities, it is important that you must be able by this time to compare modal verbs, modal nouns, and modal adverbs. Dapat makita nyo ang ila differences kay again, they are a series of lessons nga konektado. Alright? So, first natin nga istoryahan is ang ilang nga similarities. Ano ang ginpareho sang modal verbs, modal nouns, kag modal adverbs? So, ang ilang nga similarities, ara na nga daan sa ilang nga ngalan. All of them show modality. So, ang modality, tuliwat ang pag-explain ko ang sitwasyon or kalidad or kondisyon sang isa ka bagay kung sa diin hindi siya fact lang or straight nga kamatuoran. May ara basi, may ara pwede, something like that. Okay? O ano naman ang kinalain sang modal verbs, modal nouns, kag modal adverbs? Ang ila kinalain is of course ang ila nga gamit sa sentence. Okay? Siyempre, ang modal verbs, verbs na sila. Ang modal nouns, nouns sila. Kag ang modal adverbs, adverbs sila. Which means, again, lain-lain ang pag-usar sa ila sa sentence. So, ang modal verbs, if you remember, tong hambal ko, helping verbs sila. So, kinanglan nila other verbs after them. Which are usually action verbs. Okay? So, mahambal tabi. For example, shall, will, o kinanglan nila verbs, action verbs after. Amo na siya ang quality sang modal verbs. What about modal nouns? Siyempre, ang modal nouns, nouns man ang usar nila sa sentence. Usually, may tupad sila nga a, kag da sa una. So, mahambal ka, for example, the requirement, or a promise, an obligation, a permission, something like that, because they are modal nouns. And lastly, modal adverbs, of course, function as adverbs in the sentence. Like sa aton discussion, may ginatudlo sila nga verb, adjective, or other adverbs. And most of the time, they end in ly. So I hope, again, I really hope that by now, klaro na, kag makabalo na sang differences kag similarities sang modal verbs, modal nouns, kag modal adverbs. It is now time to apply your knowledge and learnings on modal adverbs. Kindly answer the following on your notebook. Activity 1, Scramble Time, on page 24. Assessment 1, Harvest modal adverbs, on page 24. Activity 2, Look for my twin, on page 25. Assessment 2, Pick the meaning, on page 25. Activity 3, What does a teacher do? That is from page 25 until 26. What I have learned on page 27, and assessment on page 28. I'm sure kabalo na mag-answer kay natun-an na ang importante nga concepts about modal adverbs. So this is where our lesson ends today. I hope to see you again on our next session next week. Have a good day.